What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It's I, James, ReadOptionAgency.com. 23 years selling on eBay, but not just 23 years selling on eBay. 53 years of life experience. So I wanted to share some stuff with you today. I just watched half of Paul Philly Flipper's video, that what he's going through. I'm going to say it's more personal than channel-wise, but there's channel issues going on also, but I'll get to that in a minute. But I kind of want to give my take because I think everybody has been there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just feeling down, feeling like the world's against you. And when one little thing is not, you're not getting the expectation the results you expect, or it feels off, that one little thing can push you so far over the edge that it just feels like the world's crushing you, even though it was just one little thing, because that's not the deep root of the problem inside someone. I can speak on this too because I was feeling the same way when I dealt with my dad's death and then with Vern's death, and how I linked Vern to saving me when I was trying to take care of my dad and feeling down, and Vern was that light in my life. Vern was a St. Bernard, my first St. Bernard. And so I linked him really heavily with saving me. So his death was very hard for me. Maybe even harder than my father's. So for a long period of time, you go through a grieving stage, no matter what it is you're grieving through. I stopped it at the halfway point, almost halfway point in Paul's video, because he hit on the root of his hurt. And everything else is just amplifying the pain from that. I won't say what it is. He knows what it is. He just stated where he moved to, why he moved there. That is the pain, the heart of his pain. Like I said, with me, it was my father and Vern. You have to take time to get through that pain. You have to take time to understand it, to deal with it, to grieve it, and to let it go. And for everybody, it's different depending on how deep the pain is, how emotional you are. Some people could probably do it in 6 months, a year. It probably took me a good 2 years plus, to really get to the point of breathability, to finally just get to the point where it's all good. It's all good. But during that, every little thing would affect me, and it would change my mood in an instant. And that's what happens when you're grieving and you're still not over that pain. The littlest thing will set you off. The littlest thing will swallow you. It will consume you. It will drag you down. It will change you think you're happy, you're da-da-da-da, but then one little thing goes wrong, and it's a 360 flip. You go from total happiness to rage. You're just like, and you wonder why. It's because you're not through that grieving point yet. You're not past that. You haven't let go. You haven't moved on. You haven't been able to. You can't force it. It takes time. And you've got to express it along the way. A lot of us have a lucky YouTube channel that we can get feedback on, we can get support on. People saying, we understand, we've been there. And all the positive comments in the world. And then, of course, you get your negative comments on top of that. And when you're in that pressure. Just one little comment is that one little thing that goes wrong. That one little comment can set you over the edge. It can just crush you for no reason. It's just one little thing. But so is everything else that can crush you. That one little negative comment is nothing more than you stumping your toe. They're just two little negative things that when you're vulnerable, it can push you over the edge. Hope that makes sense. Like if I'm dressing Paul right now, or anybody who might be in that position, take that time to grieve. Use your ability to reach out to others and as a weapon for your emotions. Put it out there, because you're going to get more of the support than you are the people who's trying to, step on your foot along the way to push you over that edge. And as long as you end on those positives every day, you're going to get there a lot quicker. You're going to get there a lot faster. My eyes are just blurry because of Vern. But yeah, I think that is that portion I wanted to address. And I'm going to address a couple of other portions also. The negative comments, you have to remember those people, that's their life. When you have people who say, like me or a lot of people who make content, we're driven. We have a focus. We know what we want. We know, or at least we know what we're doing. We know where we want to go. We're trying to get there. We're focused on this engine. So we don't have time to, if we just happen to watch a video that we don't like, we don't think, I gotta leave a negative comment because I don't like that, just because it's not in the makeup of what we're doing, because we're focused. We got a place to go. We got things to do. The negativity is not a part of our life. So people who leave those comments, negativity is their life, and that's all they have. And you just got to look at it as that. They're just not driven, successful people. They're angry because they have a pain in them somewhere, somehow, that they haven't fought through yet. Some of them will get there. Some of them may never get there. Some of them will never be able to alleviate themselves of the pain. And so they're forever always going to be, in this negative headspace. People like us, when we're put in that negative headspace, we do react differently. We don't go around hating on other people. We keep that kind of within ourselves, and then we'll express it verbally, like, hey, I'm feeling like this. We're not afraid to be vulnerable about it. People who are angry and who just like attack, especially faceless people, they're not people in my eyes, because they're not real. It's just a fake name with a fake picture, if a picture at all. It's not even a person. It's just a negative energy. And that's all that's coming out. That's all that is in that person that's typing, is just one big negative energy. So it's not even really a person. So you got to look at it as that also. But some of them will never be able to let go of the negative, because whatever pain they have is just not just deep, but they're too scared to be vulnerable and to let it out and to get past it. They just let it manifest and grow within them. And that's where you get the mentally ill people. In my opinion, that's where you get the people who go out and try to do things to other people beyond just the negative comments. They try to do negative things to people. That's where the mental illness comes in, because they let that, whatever that pain, that hurt is within them, they let it consume them 100%. Most of us are not like that. Most of us have somebody to verbally say, hey, and to let it out and to talk about it. Even if it's just yourself and a camera. Like, nobody's responding back to me right now. but you'll get support in the comments, and you use those to your advantage, to help you get past that plane you are. Because people who are not worried about being vulnerable and expressing themselves, they will get past it. They will get through it. And once you do, nothing matters, because then you're back to being focused on the things that matter, driven with the things that matter to you, that make you happy. The statement "misery loves company" is a statement for a reason. It's a widely used statement for a reason. So remember that. And lastly, probably the most superficial thing I want to express in this video, he expressed how he tries so hard to videos, but yet his views have dropped drastically, 4 to 5 times even. And here's where I'm at with that. I agree. My channel's done the same thing. I was making $1,200 to $1,500 a month on my videos, where I'm making $300 to $400 now. So mine's done it too. But the way I look at that is I've changed things. I've done things. So it may not, hit with all the people it used to. There's another statement that you have to use in this context, and that's 15 minutes. If you're not familiar with Andy Warhol, everybody gets their 15 minutes of fame. 15 minutes. Everybody gets that new car smell, and it gets old after a while. And then also you got to look at things too. We have a specific audience. We have resellers, or people who like to watch reselling content. Well, especially now with a lot of people getting out of reselling and going back to real jobs, that audience is shrinking. Not just that, people are over you, tired of you. That's the way I'm looking at it. People are just moved on from you. Maybe they've learned enough and they now found their focus and their drive. And so they're not consuming as much anymore, because you gave them their sweet spot they needed. One of your videos, several of your videos, years of your videos finally hit somebody and they go, yes. And now they have a driven. Maybe they started making their YouTube channel. So their time is being consumed with making their content and doing their vision. And so they pulled away from you. And then you have the section who just gave up. Then you have the section that just moved on. That's just the way of the world with everything. That's why I've been, I think for the last 6 months, just playing with different ideas, trying to create something differently for my channel, throw in a little bit something different, to find another audience, if you will, because the resale audience, at least for my channel, has shrunken. And I've noticed that with many reselling channels. It's not just Paul's, it's not just mine. I noticed across the board when I would go and look at people's channels, and you look at, say, the last 6 months to 12 months compared to before that, and everybody's videos seem to have dropped, except the people who took off, like a homeschooling picker person. But for the most part, a lot of those channels just started going backwards. And that's what I attribute to, just changing times. I mean, nothing lasts forever. Times change. Things come and go. But that's not to say there's not all of a sudden a explosion of resellers come December, and then all of a sudden the channels are doubled what they used to be. It's about trends, comes and goes, people moving on for one reason or another, and that's the way I'm kind of viewing it. Could it be algorithm based on YouTube also? Yeah, well, I mean, that plays into it. If you're not getting the likes you used to, your videos are not getting put out there as much as they used to, so it drags it down a little also. So it could be a mix of all those things just coming together, and that's just the way it is, unfortunately. And it's not just reseller videos. been watching a lot of content on, like doing new things with like the AI and stuff like that. And I'll watch a video about something technology based and notice that they only have like a few hundred views. And I'm like, whoa, this channel used to get a lot of views. They've got 100,000 subscribers. Why are they only getting a few hundred views? And go down, and their older videos are, were getting 20,000, 10,000 views, but their new videos are getting, hundreds to a couple of thousand, and that's it. So it's across the board. People grow old with people in two senses. They'll grow old with you, or they'll just grow out of you. They grow, that's old. I don't need to see that anymore. Or then there's your trusty diehard viewers who will watch everything that you make. That you've got the best of both worlds. So use the time to, if you're in this situation, use the time to find yourself. That's what I had to do. I had to rethink how I was looking at everything. At the same time, eBay's having a lot of issues, so that negative energy that I was putting into looking at the numbers and all that, it was bringing me down also. It was squashing me. I had to stop that. That's where I started. I stopped that. I stopped looking at that and focused my vision back onto what I need to do. I need to grow my store. That's always been my thing. Grow my store, get the sales up. That's always been my first and foremost goal. So I focused back to that first goal. Unlike you, unlike Paul, I don't, YouTube doesn't, it's just extra pocket money. It ain't paying my bills, per se. So it's two totally different worlds, but you've got to focus on the things you can change. For me, that was listing more, growing my store so that the income will grow. Also, trying new ideas with the YouTube. Thankfully, I didn't have to focus too much on the YouTube with a lot of like direct energy. It's more playful energy because it's nothing serious to me when it comes to, oh, I've got to make this kind of money here type of thing. Take a step back, redefine your focus, find something to focus on that you love, that you can change. Start there. If you're focused on something that's negative, say comments, for Paul's sake, for me it was eBay's site issues. Push it aside. Consciously focus on something else. And then everything negative doesn't matter. I stumped my toe today, it doesn't matter. Ow, stupid me. Watch where I'm going. Negative comment comes up, I don't care. It has nothing to do with me. It's that person, it's not me. I'm trying to think of other little negative things, but once you change your perception and start getting back to the main goal that makes you happy, the little negatives that happen, you don't even notice them. And if you do, they're poofed within minutes, at least with me. Instead of it dragging you down and draining you because you're fixated on it. Change your fixation. Change your focus. But you've got to give your time to get over that pain and do whatever it takes to get through that pain as quickly, or not really quickly, but as best as you will allow you to get over it. Does that make sense? Like if you have to scream when nobody's around, scream when nobody's around. If you have to make a video telling somebody how sad you are, do it. Even if you don't upload that video, getting it out helps. Expressing yourself, it helps, even if nobody hears it. So those are my advice to anybody who's going through something and feeling down, and every little negative is just dragging you down a little bit deeper. That's how I viewed it. That's how it plays out in my head. Those are the things that I've done to change it. So I'm sharing my experience in hopes that you can, as all my videos, you find a nugget in here that's going to help you with your life. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you all in the next video. Later.